This week on Primetime, our thoughts on WWE Extreme Rules and the draft scores for the first round of scoring. We also decide the greatest ever in an all-new series and look at the newly crowned WWE United States Champion Sheamus. And our live event perspective of Impact Wrestling in Racine from Saturday night. All that and a heck of a lot more right here, right now on My 24 Milwaukee.
This is the Pro Wrestling Report, PrimeTime TV, the longest-running pro wrestling news program in the world, with your hosts, David Hero and Damian Nelson.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report, primetime Saturday night for May 10, 2014. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Octavius, Tiberius, the alleged backyard one-time knockouts, hardcore, straight edge, goat face, Hall of Famer hero.
Hold on a second. And let's also say the 2013 Pro Wrestling Report Fantasy Draft. Linda, can you please...
Show me the receipts.
I got a receipt.
You didn't win, Mr. Gore.
No,
you lost.
It'll be okay.
You are a loser.
See,
you lost. We had won the draft.
Look at this. This is freaking gorgeous.
Where's Bad News Brown when you need him?
What do you mean?
To take care of that trophy.
My very dear, good, close, personal, longtime friends of recognition specialists in Grafton put together a trophy fitting of a Super Friend trophy. And I'm just going to keep this right here.
Andrew, can you please remove this obstruction from the set?
What do you mean? Look how pretty it is. It's shiny, it's happy.
It's already a shame enough that people have to look at your face during this broadcast, let alone to have
that was expensive.
More.
Be careful. It's gold plated.
Aluminum foil gold plated. It's just contact paper wrapped around that thing.
That is not.
Why would you waste expense on a trophy?
I didn't. I used the corporate Amex. I talked to the cause.
That's how expenses occur. Why would you waste?
It wasn't one of my expenses. Admit it. It beats your little goblet you have.
I'd rather have a trophy for winning something in reality than making one up on my own for losing something.
Pro Wrestling Fantasy Draft. What are you talking about?
Clearly, it's very important to you.
It is. That's why I have the world's biggest trophy. It's not fake. It's real. You saw how heavy it was.
I never touched it, actually, so I can't speak to its weight.
Well, you shouldn't touch it.
It's time for this week's WWE Report, ladies and gentlemen. And this past Sunday, it was WWE Extreme Rules on pay-per-view, where Bray Wyatt got a win over John Cena in a steel cage, and we saw the introduction of Little Johnny, who would then move on to play a prominent role on Monday on Raw. No, it's Little Johnny.
I heard that little kid was the brainchild. It was like a whole Damien kind of concept.
I-E-N?
Well, however you want to. I don't want to like bring you into
before the movie.
Yes, you were. So when I heard that, I'm like, wow, that doesn't look like Damien, but I could see the.
It looked like Little Johnny.
Or Jimmy. Yes.
No, it's Johnny. We went over this yesterday on Feedback Friday online at PWRshow.com.
It's just frustrating. I don't get it.
So John Cena loses to Bray Wyatt. Your thoughts on the match? In a cage.
I didn't like the match itself. I liked the fact that Bray Wyatt got to defeat John Cena. The thing I didn't like is that when John Cena has Bray Wyatt in the STF trying to make him submit, and Bray Wyatt grabs the bottom rope, Cena had to break the count, or break the hold by the count of 5, or he would have been disqualified, right? Mm-hmm. Well, if that's the case, then why is Luke Harper in the ring beating him up, jumping on him, hitting him, and everything else?
Was he in 2 Live Crew?
Yes. Yes.
Luke Harper?
It's something about I don't. That's a different line. But the thing is why wasn't Bray Wyatt then disqualified? You can't. I
don't like referees in a cage. Period.
No.
Why have a cage match?
Is a cage?
No, they did a lot with this cage this cage match.
A cage match is meant to keep people out, which obviously did not work because you got Luke Harper in there. You get Rowan, climbing the cage. Then you get that little kid that should have been knocked out for even being around ringside.
Still can't believe you said that and are saying that.
Listen, John Cena, he needs to win. If that kid is standing between him and a victory, you drop kick the kid, 20 yards into the fans.
You snitsky him?
Absolutely you do. You punt him. Listen,
Daniel
that
Bryan
kid will be fine. I would not want to spend 5 more minutes in the ring with the Wyatts beating me up.
Daniel Bryan, how about that When was it Luke that when he put Cena back into the cage with just on his shoulders basically, and the sheer power of climbing up? Good stuff done with the cage in that matchup. So at least it made the cage worthy of being there. They used it.
Even though it wasn't used properly, the cage match wasn't traditional. It was fine.
Daniel Bryan retains the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Kane in the championship matchup on the show.
What?
This was the last match of the evening.
It was. And you know what? I will applaud the WWE for making Daniel Bryan the main event. Because they haven't booked him like a main event champion for the last few weeks, but they put him in the last match of the night. You know, he's a little engine that could, but he's going up against the Big Red Machine.
Wade Barrett becomes the new Intercontinental Champion, defeating Big E at Extreme Rules.
How great is that?
It was a good match, actually.
You know what? I need to find the elbow pad that Wade Barrett uses. Because
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
By simply turning it inside out, it becomes harder.
Well, it's like Dusty's elbow pad when you put it on.
Yeah, but isn't that great? I mean, obviously the red is stronger than the black, so when you knock him alongside the head, it hurts more.
Wade Barrett, the new Intercontinental Champion.
Yes, I've been a Wade Barrett guy since NXT, since he should have won. Well, he did win NXT.
He had a flower on his lapel.
Yeah, he
solidified the win on Monday night by beating Big E again.
And a solid, clean win. I've been saying it for a long time. He has the makings of a star.
And what was definitely the most action-packed match of the night, The Shield defeats Evolution. This match was all over the arena, and they did a very good job, I think, focusing on Roman Reigns and Batista, where it was Roman Reigns who got the pinfall victory on Batista to take the win for The Shield Sunday night.
No problem with The Shield defeating Evolution. I just wish they could have stretched this out a little bit longer. I think Evolution should have won the first fall.
What do you mean the first fall?
The first match.
Okay. Well, okay.
Because now there's no reason for Evolution and Shield to fight again. They've already beat him once.
Well, Raw and SmackDown give us plenty of reason for the Evolution
right,
Shield
but
to fight again.
Evolution lost. Okay, move along.
We'll see what happens at Payback, and hopefully Payback can give us just as good a pre-show spectacle as we got for Extreme Rules with the matchup featuring El Torito and Hornswoggle, David Hero. We had a special broadcast team. We had a special ring announcer. They went all out for this.
They did. It was a short budget, but they were able to put it together.
Well, that was Extreme Rules, the latest special event from WWE. Now let's head over to Linda Kay with the results of the PWR draft scoring from Extreme Rules.
Please bring my trophy back over here.
As you know, the PWR draft is in full swing, and both rosters were selected last week. WWE Extreme Rules was the first event by which points were scored, and here are the results. The Super Friends took an early lead with 420 points and take number one in the draft so far. The Nelson family fell a bit short, scoring 285 points, but had the overall draft MVP in Wade Barrett, who scored a total of 100 points in his Intercontinental title win over Big E. The next event where points will be scored is WWE Payback on June 1st, and we'll have another update after that. Primetime returns in just 60 seconds here on My 24 Milwaukee.
Follow us on Twitter for breaking news, live wrestling chat, and pure hilarity. Head over to twitter.com/PWR show and be part of the conversation.
Visit our friends over at ProWrestlingTees.com for the latest and greatest wrestling t-shirts at awesome prices. You can also find the official PWR shop where you can get the all-new Nelson family or the Super Friends shirt as well. ProWrestlingTees.com is your home on the web for the most unique and entertaining wrestling tees.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report, primetime Saturday night. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Hero here on My 24 Milwaukee. Thank you for joining us here on television and online at PWR
around the world.
Worldwide.
Something seems like
I'm Mr. Worldwide, you know.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
I'm Mr. International.
You're not internationally, no.
No?
No. And don't drop your microphone.
It feels like something's missing. Linda,
your intelligence,
Linda,
your reason for being here.
Bring that back over here again.
Your impartial judgment.
No. I feel like there's something missing. Just over here, please. Right.
I do not
just
have
put
the
it right
patience.
down. Yeah, no, right down here in the floor.
I do not have the patience. Linda, who do you work for?
Linda,
who do you work for?
Look at this. Linda, this is almost as tall as you.
Linda, who do you work
How
for?
about that?
you tell me.
Wow. I guess she told you, didn't she? Look at that. Hashtag Super Friends.
after last segment's pay-per-view report, let's go to this week's Raw report.
Wait, who's winning?
On Raw this past Monday night, well, I don't know, some woman who doesn't work for me was talking about it earlier, so I have no idea what she was talking about.
Are you calling her a working girl?
Yeah, I'm replacing her next week.
Really?
She's done.
I know someone.
No, and it won't be some random. Adam Rose debuted this past Monday night on Raw. Andy, I can't. I need this removed.
Wait,
expeditiously.
I deal with the glare off your head every week. So this is a little shiny.
I need this out of
gentle.
here. I need it gone. I can't have distractions. We are doing a broadcast television show. If you could focus.
I am focused. I'm cool, calm, and
talk about
collective. You need to pump the
the
brakes.
Nelson family member Adam Rose, who debuted just this past Monday night on WWE Raw with his Rosebuds and Zeb Coulter.
Zebekiah?
Zeb, he was that once.
He was.
Zeb in the ring, and I think it was awesome to see Adam Rose finally make his debut. I think he's got a ton of potential.
Okay.
You disagree?
Yeah, I completely.
Do tell, why?
Because
he's a character?
I love characters. Don't get me wrong. I just don't. He reminds me of como se dice.
I'll speak that.
What was that show? Michael Myers.
Austin Powers.
Yeah,
movie,
he reminds me.
Three of which.
He reminds me of Austin Powers.
Gold member?
Don't be a lemon, be a rosebud. Who wants to be a rosebud?
Do you want to be a lemon?
I don't. I'd rather be a super
you're a
friend
lemon.
or an alcoholic. I would
lemon.
rather be a Nelson familyite.
They're just family members.
Oh, they should be ites.
So you don't like Adam Rose?
From what I've seen so far, no, not
He
yet.
hasn't wrestled yet. Threw a kick.
Well, yeah, he needs to do more than that.
Was on the main event?
And imagine all the. Now listen, if they want me to be one of the Rosebuds when they come to Green Bay or Milwaukee,
You don't qualify.
well, you can wear the bunny suit. Because
Oh,
you'll be
dude,
hippity hoppity all along the way. But yeah, these NXT. Rusev is the only one I like so far. He's a man's man.
Daniel Bryan, Kane, Stephanie McMahon, and Brie Bella
Brutal.
did provide us with a series of brutality this past Monday night on Raw. Those segments were some of the cheesiest and most ridiculous things I've seen on WWE
And how come
programming.
no one's complaining how Daniel Bryan's being booked like a wimp?
I think you will later.
Oh, I'm going to. I have a lot to say about that.
This did not help.
But
This did
everybody
not
else
help
there
his
isn't.
cause.
No, of course not.
This is Zack Ryder territory.
I
no
don't-
knock on Zack, but remember, is it not?
I don't mind him protecting his wife. He should.
Yes,
Because
but
she
smartly
probably
so.
makes more money than him right now. So you got to make sure that the golden goose is taken care of. But my goodness, send her home. You know?
He tried to.
You know what you do? You get Nikki there. Let Nikki be the bait. Because they look kind of similar.
Well, they are twins.
Yeah. I mean,
Twin magic.
there's been gimmicks changed and moved around and reshifted. But at the end of the day, she could be the sacrificial lamb.
We talked earlier about the Shield and Evolution, and that story continuing. Well, it was Triple H who made Dean Ambrose finally defend his United States Championship in a 20-man over-the-top rope battle royal to kick off Raw this past Monday night. Obviously, he lost, but not so obvious was the man who won. Sheamus is the new United States champion.
Who else was going to win?
Well, Big Show was in it. Mark Henry was in it.
Well, of course.
Those are battle royal favorites. Khali
When
was in
was
it,
the
I
last
think.
time Big Show or Mark Henry has won a battle royal?
Big Show came dang close at WrestleMania, didn't he? Thus making him someone who could do it.
He was the first loser.
They proved it with strategy as well, because everybody
You gotta
came
get
together,
the big guys
give it a
out.
Big Show. Everybody came together,
Good for
get Mark
Sheamus,
Henry out.
finally back on track. I mean, Dean Ambrose doesn't need, what do you call it? He doesn't need
United States Championship?
He doesn't need it. No.
So the U.S.
His
and
wife does
IC
really well for herself.
Dean Ambrose's?
Ashley Ambrose, yeah.
What does she do?
She's got a website.
The United States and Intercontinental Championship titles both changed hands over the course of 2 days this past Sunday and Monday. Any significance there?
Yeah, because they got to jumpstart those secondary titles because they need to rebuild the mid-card, which has struggled miserably.
And will those titles help?
Yes, because now they're being dusted off. I mean, even though Big E's been the IC champ for quite a while, it hasn't done much because he's been losing, as the champ.
Yeah.
He lost to Randy
He
Orton.
came in real strong.
Real
strong.
Well, he's a big, strong, jacked up kid. But the fans didn't gravitate towards him the way they had thought. He didn't get the same NXT reaction he was getting on Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah. Well, even on Raw and SmackDown, he got a solid reaction, but it was because he was paired with the endorsed Dolph Ziggler and AJ.
That did help.
That's this week's WWE report, folks. Let's go now into this week's hot news, which is brought to you by Cellucor, featuring products that maximize every training session, helping you get the gains you're looking for faster than a speeding bullet. Head over to Cellucor.com and enter code PWR show at checkout. Get 20% off your entire order.
That's a lot of money.
Beats the pricing that you get at the retailers by visiting Cellucor.com, code PWR show for 20% off your order. WWE revealed last week that Tough Enough will be returning and will be airing on the WWE Network. No debut date was announced, but the show will be taped at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, and will include NXT talents.
Well, they should. I mean, they have so many down there, they can use them and introduce them.
Tough Enough last seen on MTV.
No. USA with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, that is very true, but the original Tough Enough was
with
on MTV.
With Al Snow.
WWE Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels was a guest on Jim Ross's podcast this week and revealed that the decision for The Undertaker's streak to end at WrestleMania was decided a mere 4 hours before the show went on the air. Michaels went on to say that it was Vince McMahon who made the final decision and that The Undertaker was quote-unquote banged up after the match. Michaels will be a guest again on next week on JR's podcast, which can be found on iTunes. TNA has released 2 talents from their roster. Both Christopher Daniels and Chris Sabin are reportedly no longer with the company. Christopher Daniels has actually talked about his release and the fact that it came in an unexpected nature. TNA has officially announced as well that there will be some returning knockouts and several new talents coming into the company, including the menagerie we saw.
The menagerie. Sounds kind of
Freak
funny.
was your favorite, wasn't he?
Absolutely. Who doesn't like a good
Sideshow
freak?
Steve?
No, I didn't care for that. But Freak, he's a jacked up dude.
That's it for this week's Hot News, presented by Cellucor, who helps you maximize your workout and your life. And we'll be right back here on the Pro Wrestling Report with more.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, the insurance company may try to stop you from getting what's fair.
They better be careful. Now I've got Gruber Law Offices.
One call, that's all.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time here on My 24 Milwaukee. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Hero. And last Saturday, David, we were down in Racine for TNA Impact Wrestling Live.
Yes.
Featuring talent such as Kurt Angle, the Bromans.
Mr. Anderson. Magnus
as well. And, of course, the endorsed Rockstar Spud.
Wow. You guys finally had a moment, didn't you?
We met. We talked.
Do you know what Rockstar Spud's jacket reminded me of?
What did it remind you of?
Linda, can you please bring that in here for a second? Rockstar Spud had the most obnoxious,
a great crowd in Racine for that big, huge Impact Wrestling event. And thank you to all of you who came out. It was a pleasure meeting all of our great viewers down in Racine, Wisconsin as part of the Impact
looking
Wrestling.
in my camera, it only comes up to here. I need a wider lens.
You ever heard of the Leaning Tower of Pizza? You ever heard of the...
yeah, this isn't leaning. This
was an implosion?
Look at this. There's a star. There's a trophy here. This is fantastic good stuff. This was expensive. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Ever touch me again.
I gave you a pat on the back.
This past Thursday on Impact, though, EC3 gets a big win. Well, not so big, but a significant win over Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle having issues with his ankle. And the match, which was only about 2 minutes long, ended with EC3 getting that win and then a very distraught...
Just want to make sure you know who won Super Friends.
A very distraught Kurt Angle.
Oh, jeez, that's heavy. Yeah, Kurt Angle's going to be laid up for a little while. He's beat up.
We did hear about his injury on Impact as well.
Well, and we did talk to him in Racine. He's going to be out.
Oh, we talked to him at WrestleMania.
Well, that too. But, I mean, in Racine, he confirmed it. Going to be out 4 to 6 months. Which, if I do the math and I carry the 4 and plus the 3, I think his TNA contract is up when he's healthy.
September is his rumored contract end date. And really, things don't look good for Kurt Angle if he wants to stay in TNA, because what have they done with every high-dollar talent whose contract has come up, aside from repackaging Jeff Hardy?
I think they would keep Kurt, but I am willing to bet we're going to see Kurt at the Rumble next year.
The Menagerie debuted.
You like them, don't you? You like those freaky kind of things.
Well, they had Stoat Walkers. It was like, as Mike Tenay said, it was a carnival come to life. We saw Rebel, we saw Crazy Steve. I called him Sideshow Steve earlier. I like that better. The Freak, and of course, Nux in that group. Now,
you know that Nux's family is really a carnival family?
I did not know that, but I do like the effort here. I don't know about a 2-minute intro, but it was their first intro.
Well, they had to. I love the fire tosser.
There was no fire.
Looked like it. It wasn't fire?
How did it look like fire? They were like little balls.
There you go again.
Menagerie.
Yes.
Chances of success. 50-50, 70-30, 80-20.
You know what? It's kind of like a different version of the Wyatts.
How so?
Well, creepy, freakish, oddball. I think the fans will get behind him.
MVP turns on Eric Young, and we find out that MVP has placed himself as a challenger to Eric Young at Slammiversary from Dallas-Fort Worth in June.
MVP has found a way to get himself in the main event of the last 2 TNA Impact Wrestling pay-per-views.
He has found a way to get himself
Yes.
on TV in the main event of the last 2.
Yeah, that's what I just
pay-per-views.
said.
I was clarifying because you made it sound like he was putting himself or pushing himself.
Well,
into
he's
that
part
position
owner of the company. He can do that now.
on TV.
Yes.
How about Billy Ray in the Nashville offices of TNA Impact Wrestling looking for Dixie Carter?
It's only a matter of time before Dixie goes through a table. You know that's going to happen. You know Bully's going to get her.
Oh, he did put Mae Young through a table.
Exactly. And Dixie might like that kind of stuff.
That's it for this week's TNA Report, ladies and gentlemen. Let's find out who this week's Diamond of the Ring is. And while we do that, Andy, I need you here, please. Thank you.
What are you doing?
I'm waiting for you to do Diamond of the Ring.
Oh, this week's
Andy,
Robert Hack
we need this.
Diamond of the Ring is the new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett defeats Biggie Langston at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view.
I want it gone now.
And then once again takes care of business on Monday Night Raw with the Bullhammer knocking out Biggie one more time.
Gone.
This week's Robert Hack Diamond of the Ring,
Put it in
the place where they pay
Put it in the
cash
storage
for
room.
gold, is Wade Barrett. That's expensive.
Stop stalking your ex and be our friend on Facebook and join the tremendous worldwide discussion. Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Report.
Welcome to the PWR Event Center, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. GLCW returns to Circle B in Cedarburg on June 20th for Calapalooza 2. Tickets for the show, which will feature Armando Estrada, Shockwave the Robot, and much more, are available now at blizzardbrawl.com. PWR is bringing Sweet and Sexy to Los Angeles for SummerSlam, and tickets are moving fast. Order yours now at pwrshow.com and be a part of it. And that's it for this week's Event Center, presented by Gruber Law Offices.
Monday night, the WWE World Champion was booked as a man on the run. From the Big Red Machine Kane, Daniel Bryan and his beautiful wife Brie were hiding out, running away, and even at one point trying to flee the arena in their rental car. I have no idea why the E is booking Bryan like this, a weak and insecure champion. I understand he is trying to protect his wife, but he is doing damage to the Yes movement. We understand that Kane is a monster, but Bryan has already beaten Kane. He's beaten Big Show and Mark Henry. Remember Zack Ryder? He was the guy that also ran away from Kane and had problems starting his car as well. Yeah, neither do I. And with that, David Hero has spoken.
Well, fans, it's time for an all-new multi-week series here on the Pro Wrestling Report. Basically, it's going to take us through the summer, where we look at the greatest ever in several categories. And for years, the debate has raged on as to who is the greatest ever. Pick a category, and there's been argument of it.
Well, I can tell you.
Each week, we will discuss the candidates in the selected category, and this week's category is the hottest diva, for lack of a better word. Now, wrestling divas have been around for a very long time, and many of them have reached high levels of popularity based primarily on their looks. This is certainly not knocking them, as pro wrestling is a very cosmetic business, and many of them were and are extremely talented. There's a long list of divas that qualify for the greatest ever, such as Stacy Keibler, Trish Stratus, Lita, Sable, Gail Kim, Wendy Richter, and even Mickie James. But even with this impressive list, it does seem to really boil down to 3 that are at the top of the heap. And they are
Alicia Fox.
Sunny.
Yes.
Miss Elizabeth. And the newcomer, Lana.
Oh, hold on a second. Let me grab this here.
So let's count down to the
knew it.
greatest ever by process of elimination. Sunny, Miss Elizabeth, and Lana are the contestants.
Yes. I like all of them. All 3 of them. I love.
There can only be one greatest.
Well,
I'm the greatest. Dun, 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 dun,
Then you got to go with the first. You got to go with Miss Elizabeth.
How? Now, we said a couple of weeks ago, Lana is hot, smoking hot.
Absolutely.
Miss Elizabeth, you said was hot. I don't think she was ever hot.
Really?
Miss Elizabeth was never hot.
How old were you when she was on TV? 3?
13, 14-ish.
Well, there you go. You should have
I would've
figured it out
known
by then. I mean, Miss Elizabeth is absolutely. She is the girl, the woman you could take home to your mom. She was the mastermind behind your stepmom. Miss Elizabeth.
My stepmom?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so you take her home.
Yeah. I mean, Miss Elizabeth was the,
Yeah, I wouldn't have kicked Sonny out of bed. Well, only to
eat cookies.
Yeah.
You're just derailing this whole segment here. Miss Elizabeth.
Oh, sure, I am.
She belongs in the Hall of Fame. She was beautiful. She was glamorous. She was stunning.
Not answering the question.
She was
You
brilliant.
said hottest. The word hottest.
Absolutely, the hottest.
You found Miss Elizabeth to be hot.
Yeah, you know why?
Hot.
Because you always wondered about Miss. It wasn't until SummerSlam when she took off the skirt to show off the yellow bikini.
Which one was that? That had to be 88.
It was 88. It was Hogan and Savage against DiBiase and Andre.
That was a hot moment.
Absolutely.
That really was. Because there had been so much hidden under that dress for so long. And you didn't expect it. So, okay, Miss Elizabeth, fine. We'll make her one of the final two.
Yes.
Sunny, the most downloaded diva ever, the most downloaded woman ever at the time on AOL. Remember that? Her or Lana?
It's two different eras. I mean,
these are Miss Elizabeth's in a different era than both of them.
Right, but Sunny would come out in the bikini and the swimming suit, all the pictures. Lana comes out in the pencil skirt, okay? And,
sometimes less is more. Who's eliminated? One person needs to be eliminated at this juncture.
You can eliminate. I picked who I wanted. You got to pick yours now.
Well, by picking Miss Elizabeth, you eliminated Lana and Sunny.
Yeah, so now you got to pick one to eliminate one of the last two.
I'm sorry. Lana stops a bus full of...
What? Russians?
Yes. In its tracks to look at what's happening from heel to toe.
Oh, my God. Heel to toe. That's only that.
You really only need to look at her legs.
Yeah, but that's her feet, heel to toe.
And unless you have a very narrow field of vision, you'll also see the legs.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just...
Lana is
you're
gorgeous.
A details guy. Yes.
Lana is gorgeous. Lana is gorgeous. Lana versus Miss Elizabeth. Who is the greatest ever? David Hero.
Miss Elizabeth.
Lana.
Oh, please.
Lana.
We need to tweet this out.
Lana.
Okay.
Why tweet it out? Why do we have to go to the
It's not fair
Twitterverse?
because there's so many people
How's it not fair?
Because Lana's on TV every week. Some people don't
She's
know
been
who
on
Miss
TV for
Elizabeth
3
is.
weeks.
Which
Lana.
is more than Miss Elizabeth
Lana
has been
is
on lately.
the hottest diva ever.
Ever?
Forever.
I disagree.
You don't have to agree. You just have to deal with it.
No, I'm not dealing with it. I want my
Lana
trophy back.
is the greatest ever, folks.
Okay.
Next week, we'll do yet another series of the greatest ever, and we're going to culminate, David Hero, at the end of the summer with building wrestling's Mount Rushmore. We think 3 of the faces are pretty obvious, but there's a whole bunch of other people who could round out Mount Rushmore, at least from a wrestling perspective.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that one.
So we'll work our way to that over the course of the summer, but we've worked our way to the end of the show,
Rushmore.
ladies and gentlemen. Now let's take it over to Linda to
I could go on Mount Rushmore.
take us home.
That's it for this week's edition of Prime Time, but the conversation continues on all of our social media channels. Follow at Damian Nelson, at David Hero, and at PWR Show to keep up on all the latest from pro wrestling until we are back here with you again on PWR Prime Time Saturday night on My 24 Milwaukee.